Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patara with you today. Going to be talking to you about molting. Not you molting, but your chickens molting. It's going to happen. If you are at the end of the summer season and have pushed into fall, it's probably something you're already dealing with, and I'm going to help you supplement your chickens in with some really good treats. Again, treats and ways to help them during this time because, you know, it may not be so fun for them. So we're going to help them through. What is molting? That's when your chickens are literally losing their feathers because they're going to regrow new ones. It happens to every chicken. Typically happens within the time period of late summer, early fall. That's not necessarily always the case, but that's traditionally what happens. When the lighting starts to change, their body starts changing, they start wanting to shed the old and start growing in the new. Now, let me tell you right now, if you go out and you find a lot of feathers somewhere, first of all, make sure you don't have a predator situation. If you particularly know that you have chickens that are losing feathers and they're looking a little sparse there, hello, make sure you're not dealing with a situation in terms of lice or mites, okay? So I want to mention that first. There are some ways you can help your chickens. They're going to go through this, okay? So you just have to help them through. You want to make sure they have a clean environment, nice bedding, low stress, good feed, fresh water. I highly recommend that you put diatomaceous earth in with their treats and in with their feed. I do it, guys, and it works very well here. You also might want to consider adding apple cider vinegar regularly to their water. I do that several times a week here with my farm. So just to give you a little other side tips for good general health, but let's talk about some of the treats. And I'm going to show you what I've got here, but I'm going to talk about them first. These are the things that I do that have helped me the most with all of my chickens over the years when it comes to molting time. Okay, first and foremost, they're going to stop laying eggs. Your hens are going to stop laying eggs, and they're going to, or just not really give you that many at all. That's perfectly normal, okay? Especially if they're losing their feathers. Why are they doing that? Because their body is shifting into concentrating their energy into regrowing feathers. Feathers, if you don't know this, their feathers are about 85% protein. Okay, so all the protein that's in their body, instead of focusing on making egg whites and beautiful eggs for you, right, they are now trying to regenerate their own feathers. So that's what's happening. So don't let that flip you out. Expect it. That's why we always encourage you to maybe put some eggs in the freezer or dehydrate some eggs, because if you have an egg shortage, which during molting time and a hard winter, it's very much going to happen, okay? Just expect it. Prepare for it. So the first thing I want to tell you to do is, if you are feeding your chickens a layer feed, whether it's pellets or whether it's a crumble, I never go below 16%, okay? So I'm going to hold this up here in my hand if you can see, and I'll show you also down here. These are crumbles, and I always give a general crumble or pellet. I try to stay with a pellet because I think that it's not wasted as much. These are more for my ducks. But 16% protein is where I stick. Do not ever go below 16%. I know some folks that free range a lot, they do less in terms of the protein or whatnot. It's more affordable for them. But when you're hitting a molting time, you want to be at least 16%. I'm actually going to encourage you to bump that up to a 22% ration in terms of protein. You can buy that. Mine is typically 22%. So for about a month or two, you're going to switch from your standard 16% layer feed to your 22%, okay? They need that protein in their life. It's very important for their bodies. So go ahead and start there. So that's why I'm starting with the basic feed for you there. The next thing that I do, I make my own chicken scratch, and I change it up depending on what's going on, the season. If you're moving into winter, you're going to want to give them more corn. That's to keep them, it basically raises the body temperature a little bit. That's for warmth. So I typically switch to more whole corn. But I also make sure that I'm adding in Boss. Who's the Boss? That is black oiled sunflower seeds. And I'm going to show that to you. You can buy this in 10, 25, 50-pound bags. I buy 50-pound bags at a time. Okay? High protein there for them. They need that protein ration. So what I do when I make my chicken scratch, in the spring and the summer, I back off the Boss. Because they don't need it as much, number one, and number two, it's a little bit more expensive. So I reserve that more for my chicken scratch that I make. Now I'm adding in the extra boss, okay? See what I'm saying? I've got a little bit more corn and a little bit more boss. So black oiled sunflower seeds. The big dog, however, I will tell you, if you want to really boost their protein as a treat, it's going to be mealworms. Whether you buy them, whether you have your own little deal going with your own mealworm farm, whatever you choose to do, this is like chicken crack, okay? They love it, love it, love it. They always compete for it, and it is a supplement. All of these things are supplements. Well, the food is not, the crumbles, but the other things I'm showing you are supplements. It's not the only thing you feed them, and you give it to it in treats once or twice a day, you know, and spread it out. Mealworms are fantastic. I personally get my mealworms and have them from Chubby Mealworms. They have great stuff, guys. Really great company. They really support you guys out there in terms of owning really healthy chickens. They were a great affiliate for us for the Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference, and we enjoyed their huge giveaways for everybody. And I'm telling you, I really do try to save and ration my mealworms. I have saved my black oiled sunflower seeds, and I have saved a lot of my mealworms for molting in winter time. That's particularly what I have done. Last but not least, if you look up a lot of tips, cat food. Now, I know some of you folks may not prefer that. I understand. This is not something you're going to give to your chickens as a standard feed every day. It's a supplement. It's for protein. It's simply to assist them during this time. Cat food, in a lot of ways, and a lot of your brands, their protein can be as high as 37%. That's a lot. So just throw it out there. What I sometimes do, if my cats have eaten and I've got a little bit left at the bottom of the bowl and whatever, I might toss that to the chickens. It's just a supplement. So again, you're going to up the protein in the food ration, the crumbles or the pellets that you give them in a standard daily situations. My chickens free range all day long as much as they want to, but I always keep feed available for them, and especially during the fall and winter time. It's even more critical because they have less to pick from out in the field. The bugs and the high protein little critters running around out there, because chickens are not vegetarians. They absolutely are not, and they need protein in their life. And so when they're out there and there's less to choose from, you have to give it to them. So that's why I keep feed available for them, obviously. The black oiled sunflower seeds, the mealworms of your preference, I love Chubby Mealworms, and the cat food are going to be excellent ways for you to supplement them during this time. I'm going to show this to you so you get a feel for what it looks like. We appreciate you watching here at Appalachia's Homestead. If you like, we want you to subscribe. We want you here. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. We hope the fall season is treating you and your guys and gals really good. And we'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, so this is just your basic crumbles. Again, you are going to want to up that to about a 22% if you can during the molting period. Right down here, you have your boss. Who's the boss? Black oiled sunflower seeds. Excellent to supplement your chickens with during this time. Anytime, frankly, but especially during molt. Then, of course, you have your crazy fun mealworms. They will love you for life, I assure you, when you start offering them the mealworms. And last but not least, you have your cat food. Again, all of these things right down through here just are for supplements, kind of a treat situation, just to assist them with a higher protein content so they can regrow their feathers. You can also scramble back some eggs. That's no problem there. There's other things such as tuna. So always explore the options and the things that work for you. But these were what we were suggesting for you today.